Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So this is probably the first of my end of the year-ish videos where we're going to talk about best album and worst album by packaging. Only by packaging, which I'll explain probably more as we go through the albums. I have 5 for the best and 5 for the worst. It's not that there were only these many. There are only these many that I have the physical albums of. I'm not judging albums that I don't own because that's probably not fair. But this is purely based on how sturdy the packaging was, how creative it was, how bang for the buck it was. Like, did you get enough pictures? Did you get enough inclusions? You know, how durable it was. Like, did it get damaged during transit? Because not everyone, a lot of the K-pop fans buy albums online. Not every, except maybe some folks who have a store in their local vicinity where they can visit, and which is also reasonably priced. Like, for example, there is a K-pop store here in Bangalore, which is so insanely expensive. I don't recommend anyone buying albums from stores in India because they're just crazy overpriced. I would rather you buy through a group order on Instagram or anywhere else. So these are the albums that I like bought this year, but then that I had problems with, but also the ones that I thought were fantastic. So I want to start with the best. So since, you know, let's always do positive stuff first. So here are the 5 albums that I thought were beautifully done this year. V's Layover, Key's Good and Great album, especially this version. We all know what this is. The New Jeans Bunny album. IVE's IVE album. Stray Kids 5-star. I'm gonna give honorable mentions to these at the end, but we'll talk about these 5 first. So this one, I don't think, this is probably my probably a lot of people's top album of this year. I was really hoping that I would get Red Velvet's Bag version before the end of the year, but I didn't. So I can't judge that faithfully, even though I know it's going to be great. But the Bunny Beach Bag is just something that's fantastic. I don't think anyone has ever done an album like this before. Correct me if I'm wrong. Also the Powerpuff Girls one, I'll talk about that one, the worst one. But yeah, fantastic. This is probably the best packaged album of the year. The songs also, come on. It's a 10 out of 10 album, sound wise and packaging wise. So yeah, the number 1 is probably the Bunny Beach Bag, so no doubts there. This one is a relatively new one. I got this like maybe last week or a couple of weeks back. As you can see, it's a little denty, benty, like it's not survived transit very well. But the nice thing they did is it's super creative. Let me zoom out a bit so you guys can actually see the album. See there. Look at this. It's a literal like file, like the ones they use in offices. And it has a bunch of inclusions. It's great. You can catch. And this is a real like pin photo. And it's kind of like a doctor's file or, you know, whatever. It's so retro, it's kind of so well done. That's what I love about Key's albums. I want to bring in Killer as well. Good and Great sort of trumped Killer this year for me with this packaging, but honorable mention to Killer as well. It's a literal like video game console. It comes here like this. So it looks like you've actually just bought a video game and you're about to play it. So it's so brilliantly done. Like, even if you want to do like a, you know, simple box album, like this is the way to do it. Like, look, it literally looks like an old-time game or like a VHS. So yeah, big shout out to Killer. And even digipack of the same album, it kind of looks like an old-fashioned like handheld Game Boy or whatever. So yeah, huge props and special mention to Killer. Another one I'll talk about is V's Layover album. This album should not have worked. It's even the packaging says that it's fragile. Couple of things that really work for me with this album. The cardboard is so sturdy and high quality that it does not get bent in transit as much. Like for example, compared with Indigo, which is Namjoon's album, same concept, like box, cardboard. But the one thing they did here made the side cardboards really thick. So when you press down in transit, it doesn't bend as much and it doesn't squish. We'll see another album in the worst albums, which for which this could have been really useful. And also, they didn't skimp. All of this stuff is stuck on. It's not printed. Like you can, the feel of it, if you feel it, it's all stuck on. So tiny details like this, I really appreciate. So this is definitely, maybe like, this is probably number 3 for me. So you may think, hey, these two are just very normal albums. There are companies that really mess up very normal albums. Look at how sturdy they've made this part. This outer box part of the IVE album is so sturdy. It is so nicely done. Look at that. That is so nicely done. It maybe bent a little bit this way, but it did not squish. It doesn't bend like this. It doesn't go this way. So yeah, simple packaging, but very nicely done. The print jobs are also very good. And if you buy 3 versions, they're gonna line up this way. They're gonna line up as I, V, and E version. So yeah, nicely done, Starship. The next album I want to talk about, just a second, is the S-Class 5-star limited album from Stray Kids, the art style. This is solely on here. Yeah, it's just a normal book packaging, nothing amazing, nothing special, but the art, yeah, this was one of probably the most eye-catching albums that came out this year. So I think the art is second to none. From the ones that at least I personally bought this year, this is probably my favorite cover of an album. So this is my number 5 pick. So for number 1, we have the New Jeans Bunny Beach Bag. Number 2, we have Key's Good and Great, the file version. Then number 3, we have V's Layover album. Number 4, we have I Have by IVE. And number 5 is S-Class from Stray Kids, or 5-star. I have another honorable mention before we move to the worst. It's this version, I don't know what it's called, from Taeyong. It's a Shalalala album. I think this is a really smart way to make compact K-pop albums. You also get a really nice Polaroid inclusion. It's a nice way to sort of make it, you get a 2 CD compact album. And I thought I really liked the mini CD concept. You get a bunch of pictures. Not many pages are really wasted. There are not many, like, you know, plain pages, maybe a couple here and there, but they've made really good use of it. And for those of us folks, or a lot of us, don't have a lot of space to store albums, so we do appreciate companies coming up with compact concepts. So this is way smaller than a usual album is, but it's done pretty great. Yeah, so Shalalala by Taeyong, I think, is one of SM's better album packaging. Yes, it can be improved, like it's coming out a bit here on the sides. That's why it's not in my top 5, but something that's definitely good compact albums. All right, so now that we've taken a look at the best, we want to go a little bit on the grittier side, go to the worst albums. I'm gonna keep the Bunny Beach Bag in the background because it's just too good. All right, Worst albums, I have 1, 2, 3, I have 4 albums. I don't have too many. I didn't hate a lot of the albums that came out this year, but I only hate the ones that, you know, that really came to me destroyed. I have 4 albums that are my worst packaging of the year. Let's start off with this one. Look at the condition of the album. Look at how squished it is. The box is just the most low quality stuff I've ever seen. Everything is torn, and it's, do you think this kind of box is not going to hold up anywhere? Do you see how squished it is? I have kept the plastic packaging on it just to keep some semblance of newness to this album. It's the 5th mini album, Oh Lee from woodz. This is my most favorite album of the year. Spoiler alert, but you'll see in my top songs of 2023 that this is heavily featured. But I was so disappointed when I received this album because it is just so damaged in transit. It's fully squished. It doesn't even stand up on its own because it's, you know, so damaged. You get some decent amount of inclusions in it. It's also really heavy, but I hate that the outer box is so low quality. So this album is a big, packaging wise, a big miss for me. They could have done so much more, like avoided the box and done something like what IVE has done. So this was a big miss for me. The next miss was from SM. It's their NCT Golden Age album. Like, look at how bad this album looks. Their other versions are fine, but it's just like a filing thing. Who's gonna buy all the members? Like, I don't know too many people who would buy every single member and then align them up so that the tabs show up one after the other. And you get like, yeah, it's the bare minimum. It's SM doing SM things and like making NCT packaging really shit. So sorry for the cursing, but yeah, it's just really annoying when it's a decent album but the packaging is really crap. The other photo book version is totally fine, but this is a huge no from me. It looks like a fucking manila envelope. Sorry to curse, but when you spend your money on things, you want it to be good. So it's like a fully creased up manila envelope with some golden print on it. So big miss for me from SM. The next album that was a miss for me packaging wise was, I feel like I'm gonna get some hate for this, but it was Suga August D's D-Day from Hype. Guys, come on. It's a BTS member album. Is this the most that you could have done? Look how crap this is. This is the same way I felt when I received Indigo. Like, that's why I was really scared for Layover. I still haven't received Golden, so I hope it's good. But really? Like, you can't even properly see anything here. Look, it's so dark. You don't, it's not even filled to the brim, because sometimes, look, this is what happens. And this is how I received the album, and it's all creased up and dented, and it feels like a cheap album. The album is great, the music is fantastic, the artist is amazing, but why do you have to do this shit packaging for the album? So this is a huge no from me. I feel like Hype needs to put a little bit more thought into making its album packaging a little more desirable. They've been doing the bare minimum, and I'm really happy that V decided to go with Adore to make his album packaging, because they're just doing it on a different level. If their sub label or if their like companion label can do it so well, why can't Hype? So Hype, please do better and make your albums a better packaging. So yeah, this was the next miss for me, which is Suga's D-Day. And the next absolute miss for me was another NCT album, which was Fact Check. And this is the Digipack version. It's just so stupid. This is the stupidest packaging I have ever seen. So it's literally this piece of paper that's just holding everything together, like loosely. Look at that. There's no box, no nothing. The CD is just here. It doesn't even have a CD cover. It just comes that way. You get some pictures and some stuff with it, but it's just there. This is just it, like some like pamphlet from some grocery store. So yeah, absolute no on this fact check packaging from NCT. Worst, this is my #1 worst packaging of the year because it's just really lazy. This is the laziest packaging. So now my #1 worst packaging of the year is this fact check digipack, followed by the woodz album, followed by this Golden Age album, and followed by Augusti's D-Day. So yeah, I try my best to be the most positive on this channel. Special mentions for the worst packaging are the Powerpuff Girls one from New Jeans. Like, it came really squished, so I wish the outer packaging had been a little more sturdier on that one. But I'll give them a pass because they did a brilliant job with the Bunny Beach bag. So yeah, so that was my best and worst of album packaging of 2023. I really hope we see a lot more innovative stuff and creative stuff, simple but well done, well made, high quality stuff in 2024. I'm looking forward to all the new music we get. Also look forward to my best songs of 2023 coming up soon on the channel. If you watched this far in the video, leave in the comments what your favorite album packaging was of 2023 or what your least favorite one was of 2023. What do you think of my picks? Did you receive these albums intact, and were they, did you receive them well if you bought any of these albums? I especially want to know what people thought of the NCT Digipack for fact check, because I just thought it was a mess. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do subscribe, like, share, comment, the works. You know what's happening. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.